so I don't sleep. And I was thinking about it earlier anyway, so I was like, well, might as well look at it because I was thinking about it. I had a shower, and I was like, after my shower, I might as well. So that's why my hair is all wet and looks like a fucking disaster, because it's still wet, and I'm not doing anything with it. I don't like blow dry my hair. I just let it fucking air dry, because who has the time for that? Like, who has the time to sit around and like blow dry their hair? Not I. And I don't like really sit around and do much. So it is what it is. That's what it looks like, and that's what it's going to look like. So oh well. Anyway, my baby cat is sleeping. She's right there, off screen because she's sleeping. Anyway, I have this. So I got this for my birthday. Not this year. Not last year, but I think the year before. Anyway. But it's actually, if I can get it out, it's stuck. It actually is a Death Note. My sister has been like asking me to write in it ever since I got it, and I tell her no every single time, because my ass is like, what if it's real? Like, obviously it's not, but I'm like, what if? I'm like, what if? Just on that off chance, I'm like, no. Because, like, I'm not going to be responsible for that. So I literally will not let her write in it, because it has. It is like a journal. Like, you can write in it, but it also has, like, the writings, like, it has the shit that it has, like, when he was writing and stuff. Like, it has, like, the names and stuff, like, from when he did it. So, it's actually really nice. It's, like nice quality and stuff, too. So, but it literally has, actually has all the rules in the beginning. And I actually have not read these rules. I mean, I'm sure I read them 5 ever ago. Like, when I originally read the manga. I don't remember. I don't remember most of them. So, I'll read them again. I just was thinking about them, so I'm like, let me read them again. So, and this is going to play with my dyslexia so bad, because the way that it's written, the font is terrible. This is terrible for a dyslexic. It is so small, and it is so awful. The words all bleed together. Like, who did this? Who decided this was an okay thing to do? Who did this? Because, like, look. And I'm actually using not my webcam, but my actual camera, so look, I can actually, like, do this. Okay, not like that. Like, okay, first of fucking all, I'm not doing it well. That's... Anyway, that's that. I done fucked up the thing. Now look what I did. Nope, made it worse. Good enough. Fine. Whatever. is how you can tell that I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I done fuck up stuff. And look, this fell out. You know what I don't have? L changes the world, or L saves the world, or whatever that one is. That's like literally, I think, the only one I don't have. Because I have the the B the Los Angeles ones, the B birthday one. I have that. I just haven't read it yet. I have it. I've been meaning to read them, and maybe I'll get to it because now I'm trying to read things. I haven't actually read it, but maybe I will. Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet, but maybe I will. Maybe, like, away from my face. You're too close to me. Ah! No. That's fine. Yeah, I have the B birthday ones, and I just haven't read it yet. And I really want that one shot, but I don't think it's translated yet, and it's not available in anything. So maybe someday they will translate it in English, and then I can have that one too. The one with the kid with like the Bieber haircut. I don't know what his name is, but I want that. Because I saw a thing on YouTube and they were like, oh, is he smarter than light? And I'm like, I have no idea because I'm not able to read it. So maybe it's online and I can like read it online, but I just haven't read it yet. So we'll see. Because literally anything to do with Death Note I want. I just haven't read all of it yet. But I should. Anyway. All of my nonsense leads up to what I actually wanted to read was the book. So, like, yeah, they're like, how to use it. And they're like, the first rule of how to use it is it was written on, the name of the people will die in the notes. If the name is written on the faces of the object without killing in mind, there is no utility, but people sharing the same name will not be affected. Write the name in the human world of time units within 40 seconds to write the cause of death. Things will be in accordance with that. If the cause of death is not written, it is also a heart attack. I think that this is like literally translated, like word for word translated, so it's a little. After writing the cause of death, we'll be given 40 minutes and 6 seconds to record the time of death in detail. Number 2, by this note to leave the human world on the ground. It is the object of the human world. Yeah, I think it's like literally translated like word for word, so it's a little bit rough. The holder can recognize the original owner of the note, the appearance and voice of the original owner. Have used this note of the human after the death cannot go to heaven or hell. Yeah, okay, so having used. So, yeah, it's as they said. So, once you've used the death note, you can't go to heaven or hell, which is why they said that, you know, the Shinigami at the end of Death Note, that's why everybody is like, oh, that one's light. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we all are in agreement that that's light anyway. Like, I don't think anybody thinks that that's not light. I think we all agree that that's definitely light. Does anybody think that it's not? I'm pretty sure that everybody thinks that it is. I don't think that anybody. If anybody thinks that it's not, I would love to hear theories as to why they say that that's not him. Because I'm pretty sure everybody thinks that it is. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's pretty. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a given. Like, I think that there's a lot. I think there's so many context clues as to why that's him that I can't see anybody being like, no, that's totally not him. Like, it's so him. So, because they can't go to heaven or hell. So I think that when you die and they come to collect you personally, that's why, like, Ryuk wrote his name in the Death Note, was to come to collect. It was to come to collect Light himself, because he can't go to heaven or hell. He comes to get him. When writing a heart attack on the cause of death, if the time of death in less than 40 seconds, even if the cause of death is a heart attack, can also manipulate the time of death, the time to write the name of the 40 seconds after writing. Because it's literally translated, it's not, like, grammatically correct, so it's already fucking with my dyslexia, because it's already not right, and then I have to translate it again in my head to make it make sense. So basically, I guess with this one is like, okay, even if you're like, okay, they're gonna die of a heart attack, you can manipulate the time and be like, okay, they're going to die of a heart attack, but they're gonna die of a heart attack when I say so. They're not just gonna die of a heart attack in 40 seconds. They're gonna die of a heart attack, tomorrow at midnight. Like, they're gonna die when I say they're gonna die. The human who touches the Death Note, if not the owner of the note, can recognize the image and voice of the original owner of the Death Note. Okay, so that's as they said, that's when, they had that part when, he had everybody touch the Death Note and everybody could see Ryuk. That's kind of where that part came from. When holding the Death Note will be held by the original owner of the death until his death. Okay, so when you have the Death Note, you are the owner of the Death Note until you die. So you have to die before someone else can have the Death Note. Until someone else can be the owner of the Death Note. Other people can use the Death Note, but they can't be the owner of the Death Note? Because other people definitely use the Death Note, because there's like a whole part in there where he definitely loses his memory and gives the Death Note to, there's that whole part, so... Death usually occurs within 30 days after the use of the notes in the presence of humans who have used the notes. Death usually occurs within 39 days. Death usually occurs within 39 days after the use of the notes in the presence of humans who have used the notes. I have no idea what that means. Death usually occurs within 39 days after the use of the notes in the presence of humans who have used the notes. I feel like this is a riddle and I'm just too stupid to figure that out. I have no idea what that means. They'll die they'll die in front of you automatically? Death occurs within 39 days after the use of notes in the presence of humans who have used the notes. Death usually occurs within 39 days after the use of the notes in the presence of humans who have used the notes. I'm going to leave that alone and keep going because I'm got sick of reading that one. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I'm stupid. I know, I get it. I'm stupid. I'm going to leave it alone. And we're going to move on. The original owner of the Death Note, Death. Why must they do this to me? The basic mountain will not use the notes to help or hinder the death of the act. But I mean, okay, so for this one, obviously Ryuk said it like multiple times that like he's just, you know, he's an observer. He doesn't get involved in anything. He's just kind of there for the show. He's just watching. He's not because he's the original owner of the Death Note. He will not use the notes to help or like he doesn't help and he doesn't like hinder Light in his use of the Death Note. He just kind of watches. He's literally just there for the fun. He does not care. Method of using the Death Note in the notes and have personal rules which shall have no obligation to explain the death. I hate the way these are written. They hurt me so much. Why must you hurt me this way? I really didn't think these were going to be so difficult to read. Like, I thought it was just going to be very straightforward. That's what I get for thinking that I could read. Yeah, method of using the Death Note in the notes and have personal rules which shall have no obligation to explain the death. Again, that's just you writing in the death. You don't have to explain it. You can just say, writing down their name, you don't have to explain how they die. You can just write it down, like John Smith. And as long as you have you write down his name and you have his mind, like you can see him in your mind's eye, he's just gonna die. You don't have to explain shit. He will just die. Death may have extended by the name of the human being written in the Death Note, but human beings cannot extend their lives. Okay, so you can extend, obviously that one is like, you can extend the death. You can say, like, okay, that's like I said before. Like, you can be like, okay, he's gonna, I just bit my tongue. He's gonna die tomorrow. You know, he's gonna poison himself, so, you know, he's gonna drink bleach over the course of 2 hours, and then he's gonna die. So, like, you can say how he's gonna die, and you can say when he's gonna die, so you can extend it and say when he's gonna die, but you can't extend your own life. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna write it in here, and I'm gonna live for the next 30 years. That's not how this is. It's a Death Note, not a live note. Thank you for trying to explain that, Red Jade. I just am stupid, and I know that I'm just dumb. Like, I'm just dumb. You can use the Death Note to shorten your life. But why would you? I mean, I guess if you're suicidal, perhaps, but I feel like if you have the Death Note, I don't know why you would, like, see, here's the thing. And here's the thing that I always wondered as well. The Death Note itself. Here's what I've always wondered about the Death Note. And I don't here, like, so I'm gonna say it first, and then I'm going to kind of say what I think about it, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second about the Death Note. Now, there are two schools of thought about the Death Note itself in general. Now, I've talked about it before, and the Death Note, it's like, when you pick up the Death Note, does the Death Note actually have any properties in it that corrupt you? Like, when you actually pick up the Death Note, does it kind of prompt you, or does it kind of give you this sense of like, oh, now I have this power, now I have to use it, and it's like, oh, now it's corrupting me, and now it's kind of guiding me or forcing me or kind of compelling me to, like, ooh, now I need to use it, and now I need to do this and this and blah 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 blah. Like, does this force come over you? Do you feel like you have to do it? And like blah blah blah. Like, is there some kind of something that comes over you to do it? That's one school of thought of, you know, what happens with the Death Note. Another school of thought is that, like, no. Honestly, you're right. Like, power corrupts. Like, absolute power will corrupt absolutely. However, my thing is with this specifically, with light specifically, that bitch picked up the Death Note and kind of read the rules. He filled up 5 pages, like, without any kind of prompting. He filled up 5 pages before Ryuk even showed up. That bitch knew what he was about, okay? He just didn't even wait. He literally didn't even wait. He filled up 5 pages with literally no prompting. He just filled up those pages. He just kept on going. He did not even care. There was no kind of he was not compelled to do it. There was nothing that forced him to do it. There was no kind of, like, mystical force. There was nothing there. That was all him. That was all him being like, after he saw what happened the first time he wrote down that name, he was like, he was already drunk. Like, he saw what he could do, and he was like, huh. Oh, all right. And he just fucking kept it moving. He just kept it moving. He was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go. This is my life now. And he just kept going. That was it. Like, that was literally it. Like, oh, thanks for following. That was it. Like, he just kept going, though. Like, he knew what he was about. He didn't need any kind of... This is also... So, listen, I'm not going to get into this, because if I get into it, I'm just going to get fucking angry, and then there's going to be just screaming, and it's just too late at night for my sanity, and for... My sister will come in here and beat me up. But, like, that is why... That is why the Netflix fucking adaptation, which we all knew was going to be garbage, first of all. Just gonna throw that out there. That's why that pissed me off so bad, though. He needed to be told to use the Death Note, number 1. Number 2, he had to be coerced by Ryuk to even use it. Number 3, there had to be scare tactics and intimidation for him to even put down the first name. And then number 3, the person who used the Death Note the most was Mia. No! No! No, no, no. Light filled up 5 goddamn pages before Ryuk even became a damn thought. Get it right! Pissed me off. That pissed me off so much. And I'm like, this bitch was already inches away from a god complex. The Death Note just kind of pushed him over the edge. That was all he needed. That was literally all he needed for it. Was just the means to do it. He found the means. He did it. That was all he needed. That movie. So many things wrong. Oh, so many things. I hated that movie. I hated it. I hate it so much. Moving on. Moving on. I cannot get involved in that right now. I cannot do it. I won't do it. I can't do it. Alright, become a Death Note holder of human if the half of the rest of his life in exchange for... Oh, for fuck's sake with this. Get to see a human appearance will know the name of the man of life, death, eye. Now, the only reason I know what that is because I know what they meant to say by that, and because the reason I watched the show. If I had never seen the show and or read the manga, I would not know what that meant. That's the Shinigami eyes. That's it. That's all what that is. Jesus Christ with this translation. Must we translate the words? Like, literally, they just translated it word for word. Please translate what the meaning is behind it. Don't just translate word for word. Translate the sentence. Oh my god, I hate when they do that. When they do that with anime, That's the fucking worst. I'm trying to watch an anime and they're translating it word for word, and I'm like, this is nonsense. This means nothing to me. This literally means nothing to me when they did that. They did that with a K-drama I was watching once. And I was like, I literally can't follow anything that's going on in this drama anymore. Like I could not follow shit that was going on. Because I'm like, individually these words mean something. In a sentence, this means nothing. This means nothing in a sentence. Like, what's going on? What the fuck is going on in this sentence? Especially when you're doing it in like like when you're watching in a K-drama or in an anime, and it's like moving very quickly, and you're trying to read that sentence, and it's not translated properly. It's just translated word by word, so it's not grammatically correct. It's not grammatically correct. First of all, second of all, it's moving quickly. Third of all, I have dyslexia, so I'm trying to read this not grammatical sentence, translate it myself with a bad translation quickly. Yeah, that don't work. That already does not work. Thank you. Next. Sometimes I have to put things back. I just have to put that thing back where it came from, because I can't do it. I'm like, all right, I wanted to do this. You didn't help me at all. Bye. I just got to put it back. I just got to put it back. I had to do that with Library Wars, the movie, because I bought it. The translation was garbage. I have this perfect movie. The animation is great. The voice acting is perfect. And the fucking translation is garbage. And I have this movie now that I can do nothing with. Oh, I don't read Shakespeare. Oh, no. Thank you, next. Oh, I don't read Shakespeare. No, no. I never had to read Shakespeare in high... Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. I tell a lie. I read Macbeth. That was the only Shakespeare I've ever read. I read Macbeth. Out damn spot. That's the only Shakespeare I remember. That's the only Shakespeare I ever read, and it's the only one I remember. Because I didn't read Romeo and Juliet. I never had to. I have Romeo and Julio. That's up there somewhere. I found it. It was an 8th grade book I read, and I was telling my friends about it, and I kept remembering it, so I went looking for it. I actually still have it, and it's up there. And if my cat wasn't asleep, I would get it and show it to you, but it's up there. If she moves, I will show it to you. It's a great book, actually. It's like a modern day adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. It's actually really good. I enjoyed it as a young tot when I read it in middle school. I read it in 8th grade. But yeah, I've never read Romeo and Juliet. I've seen adaptations of it. But like, yeah, I never read Much Ado About Nothing. I think I've seen a play. My friend was in a play that was kind of like that, but it wasn't that exactly. I think I saw something like, it was something like Shakespeare in a Box, or it was like something like that, where they had different kinds of plays and they like put them all together, and it was like a mix or a mash or something. I have no idea. It was something like that. I've seen different adaptations, like Taming of the Shrew, which was like 10 Things I Hate About You or whatever. I saw that. I like that movie. Yeah, I've seen like adaptations, but I've never actually seen, or never actually read probably the things that other people have read. Like I said, I've never read them. I only have ever read Macbeth. That's it. And that's because I was in advanced English. If I had been in normal English, I wouldn't have read that, because they didn't read that. I don't think we read Shakespeare in my high school. Because I didn't read things, like, my high school didn't read, I think, the same stuff. Like, and because I was in honors English, I didn't read the same stuff that other people read. Like, other people read The Great Gatsby. I've never read The Great Gatsby because I wasn't in regular English. The regular English class read The Great Gatsby. I didn't. Like, the regular English class read, what the fuck did they read? And I didn't read it. I know that they read The Great Gatsby because everybody was talking about it, and I just never read it because I was like, no, I don't want to read that. I don't care. I just didn't care. I was like, whatever. But like, I had to read Jane Eyre because that book was twice as thick. I know we read Macbeth. We read Frankenstein, A Raisin in the Sun, Mice and Men, what the fuck else was it? Something. The Crucible. I was like, what the fuck else was it? I was like, something. I don't know. There was things. Stuff. I don't fucking remember. Stuff. Things. This is really killing my dyslexia. I really didn't think it was going to be this high. And there's so many. There's so many of them. Let's see. Let's see. Is stabbed. Is stabbed in his heart with a knife or shot in the head with a gun to kill death. However, the general death is not known to kill the death of the method is the existence of. Do you see my problem? What does that mean? I'm going to read that again and try to understand what that meant. Okay, obviously it means if. If stabbed in his heart with a knife or shot in the head with a gun to kill death, the general death is not known to kill the death of the method in the existence of. Does that mean that you can't kill Ryuk by stabbing him or shooting him in the head with a gun? Is that what that's trying to say, is that you can't kill Ryuk? I honestly don't know if that's what that means. If that's what they're trying to say. For the love of fuck, I wish that I could, like, translate this and understand. I don't know if this is intentionally, like, if this would be easier. I really wish I wasn't stupid. I really wish I could understand. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I will gain knowledge. Written on the death status must be the human, physically impossible thing. If the action is not, he should, can, make the range, will not be realized. Oh, for fuck hell. And again, the only reason I know what this one is because I know what they meant to say here. This one means that it has to be something that is physically possible to do. So you can't say they're going to jump out of a plane with no, like they're going to jump out of a sky, they're going to skydive with no parachute and they're going to land on one toe and live and then go and kill themselves with a knife. That's not physically possible to do. That's not real. So you can't write that in the death note and it become a thing. Like, it has to be something that's physically possible for someone to do. Like, if it's impossible, the death note cannot make it possible. So it has to be something physically possible for a human to do. Something that's feasible. I hate everything about this. Honestly, I hate everything about this. In the death of the situation, in how to do things in detail, and even the god of death do not know, only by their own to verify. In the death of this... In the death of the situation, in how to do things in detail, and even the god of death do not know, only by their own. So I think that means that somebody cannot tell you something that they do not know. So even it's like even the gods can't tell you, like again. So the other one was they can't do something that's physically impossible. This one is they can't tell you something impossible. Like, they can't verify something that they do not know. It has to be something that they know. So you can't, again, so me, somebody who's dyslexic and somebody who's stupid, you can't be like, what is the square root of 1,000,000? I don't fucking know that without, like, getting a calculator out. So if you ask me that, I don't know the answer. So You can't write that in the death note for, like, me to be like, to tell you that before I die, because I don't know. So you have to actually write, like, if you write it in the death note, it has to be something that the person can feasibly tell you, or that they can feasibly go find out. Which I guess is, you know, what that piece of shit movie was doing. Was, you know, they had Watari didn't know the name of L, so he had to go find it. Which again was garbage, because he was like, he told Watari in that movie, go find me the name of L. So he went and found him the name of L. He was in the filing cabinet. These guys came in to try to murder him with the guns or whatever, and then he stopped. He was on the phone, was going to tell him the name of L, and then the guys came in with the guns. He stopped what he was doing, stopped talking to him on the phone, to turn to talk to the guys with the fucking guns. Did I write in the death note, stop what you're doing and talk to the guys with guns? No, I did not. I said, find me the answer of what his name is and tell it to me. Did I not tell you? So where in my instructions are you able to stop what you're doing, what I physically told you to do, to turn and talk to these police officers? Hate that movie. Hate everything about it. There's no good in that movie. I tell a lie. The design of Ryuk is okay. It's not bad. And you know, and you know the voice. That was okay too. I'm alright with it. I'm not terrible with the design of Ryuk. He was okay. I'll give them 1/2 a point, because I can't give them a full point because I hate everything about them. They're awful. Alright, have a good night. Alright, let's see. Taken from the death note of a page or scraps of paper, all have the characteristics of notes. Oh good, look, one I can fucking understand. That just means literally it doesn't have to be a full page. Like, it's like when Light pulls the page, or when he rips off the page and keeps a little bit in his watch. You can literally just write on a piece of the death note and it still matters. Like, it still holds water. As long as the words left or directly on the note written by props, no matter what can, even the cosmetics and blood is no problem. I think that means no matter what it's written in, as long as it's on that paper, it's fine. Like, you can write it in blood and that would be fine. So, I guess that's fine. Literally just write his name in blood and you'll be fine. Rip open your thumb and write his name on it. Even death has a lot to do with the death note. Even death has a lot to do with the death note. Well, I should fucking hope so. What does that mean? Even death has a lot to do with the death note. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm moving on. Because if I stop and stare every time I don't understand something, this is just gonna be fucking... Goddamn, I'm never gonna go to sleep. And because I'm only... Jesus Christ. I'm only on number 8! Oh no. Oh no. There are like 30 of these. I'm not doing all of these tonight, because oh no. Absolutely not. Because, no. Absolutely. We'll see. We'll see how many. I'm gonna take this to maybe an hour. We'll see. And then, however many I get done, that's what we're gonna do. That's enough of that. The first cause of death and death conditions, followed by write your name in front of the written, will be effective. In that case, the name during write until about human time units within 19 days. So does that mean that you can hold someone hostage for up to 19 days? So you can give them conditions for up to 19 days? But then after the 19 days, they're going to die regardless? Because that would be really useful. You could literally just, like, make them your slave at that point. Like, you could use them for so many things. My question is, if they're compelled under the death note, like if you put their name in the death note to do certain things, do they have any free will? Or is it only, like, if you compel them to do a task, can they only do that task? If somebody speaks to them when they're in the middle of that task, can they speak back? Or is it only that task? Can you only focus on that one task? Questions. I want answers. Even if is not the owner of the death note, if we know appearance and name, and the name can also have uses the holder with the same effect. Well, okay, so that's fine. So that means anyone can use the death note and it will be just as effective. So, because we've seen other people use it, like we've seen Misa use his death note, and we've seen, you know, he, like I said, he gives it to someone else to use the death note. Like, he's done it before. And hold on, shift. Where's my book? Hold on a second. I broke it. I dropped it, and now it's broken. See what I did? I broke it.
It says
It says it's still going, but I don't believe it because now the camera is broken. Well, that fucking sucks. Look what I did. I broke it. Stop and stare. You fucking broke it, you
idiot.
Nope, I broke it.